understand why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down. Seems like motherfuckers should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.
So we have DJ back in the wine cellar.
I'm back.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you been?
Good. You came all the way to South Florida.
All the way on the coldest day of the year.
Oh my God. I was like, how you coming down here for vacation and it's cold?
Man, it is freezing
It
outside.
is freezing outside. My teeth were cold. Well, you got veneers. It feel like ice.
Pick up everything.
It do. It's just like, oh my God. The sensitivity was supposed to go away, but welcome back. Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course, we have the products here. And I'm just going to jump right into this, okay? Because, you know, we don't need to put no disclaimers on this video now that the National Library of Medicine, okay, the National Center for Biotechnology Information, which is the PubMed.gov, herbs, okay, has been considered a treatment for COVID-19 patients.
Yes.
You knew this before the whole pandemic got started. You was mailing out bottles everywhere.
Absolutely.
And then it says this study was done to determine the efficiency of the olive leaf extract on the outcomes of COVID-19 patients. And so they did 2 control group. Of course, they always do a placebo group and then they do a regular group. And they administered 250 milligrams every 12 hours for 5 days. Okay, now I'm going to link these articles below the video just in case people have, you know, any questions. This here is 5 milliliters. Okay, so 5 milliliters is much more than 250. No, 250 milligrams.
Well, you're
going
to be taking those 5 milliliters 3 times a day.
3 times a day. Okay, and basically
yeah.
every 12 hours for 5 days. So I guess their dosage was significantly higher.
Right.
Okay, and then intervals should be receive olive leaf extract 500 milligrams every 12 hours for 5 days. So they didn't do. They did do a placebo group. They did 3 groups, and then of course the control group received placebo every 12 hours. And the outcomes of vital signs, laboratory tests, and length of hospitalization were compared by the group. And of 150 patients, randomized groups, okay, they basically concluded that olive leaf extract can improve the clinical status of patients and decrease the length of hospitalization, okay? Right. So it lowered their pulse rate, body temperature, respiratory rate, and oxygen saturation. Okay, it was a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a lot of technical words in here that I don't understand, but all the diagrams are here, of course. And so you've been, like I said, you've been pushing olive leaf for how many years now?
About 4 years.
I don't miss a dose. So I have like 1 more of these bottles left. I have to re-up on mine, but I just take 1 capful a day of this particular one. So
I think you do the maximum formula,
and
right?
I do the maximum formula as well because I have the syringe, and that goes a long way.
Yeah,
a long way. So are you surprised to hear that now after COVID has been, we all took sort of a dramatic hit from COVID.
Right.
Are you surprised to hear that now they're considering administering COVID-19, olive leaf to COVID-19 patients?
You know, it's I'm not surprised because, again, at the onset of the pandemic, we knew what olive leaf extract would do because we had been treating people with acute respiratory infections for years, you know, in adults as well as children. And I always say, if you can get olive leaf extract in you, at the onset of these issues, within 24 to 48 hours, you won't even have those issues anymore. And so we knew then, and this was before the onset of the pandemic, the benefits of olive leaf. But it was confirmed during the onset of the pandemic, you know, before the vaccinations and all of that was approved and all that, because people were reaching out to us in desperation. You know, I have a family member who's tested positive. You know, I'm a frontline worker. I'm in medical care. I'm in law enforcement. I have to have something to protect me. I deal with the public. I'm a bus driver, you know. And so we began to ship bottles all over the world. You know what I mean? And people were self-healing. People were self-healing in their homes, you know, without oftentimes even having to go to the hospital only to be diagnosed. Because at that time, they were sending so many people home saying, if your issues or if your symptoms got really severe, then come back. But if you only had, you know, a cough or a little bit of congestion, even though you tested positive, go home and only call us or come in if your symptoms, if you felt like something was really, really severe. So those individuals reached out to us, and we were able to get bottles to them extremely fast. And they were able, and I'm talking about thousands of people self-healed at home. We knew this before the pandemic, which is why we really pushed the need for us to have alternative modalities of health at our fingertips, which is what My Olive Leaf is premised on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so whatever field of endeavor you're in, whatever, job you do, it's always good to have something alternative to the mainstream medical system, i.e. pharmaceuticals and all of those types of things, as your first line of defense.
I agree wholeheartedly. Why my tea is still hot, okay? Because I had to fix me some tea because it's like 40 degrees outside here in South Florida. You mind if I bust this bottle open?
Not at all.
Because this is how I was told to take it when I got COVID 3 times.
Right.
Okay, and I took it like this every time, and I think this is how you were telling your customers to take it as well. So basically, of course you shake it up real good.
Right, you break the seal.
The seal. So I'm demonstrating right here, and I'm gonna show you. I shook it up, and then I just kind of pour a cap in it.
Yep.
And then I just put it right there in my tea, and then I'm gonna close this back up. I'm probably gonna keep this bottle because I buy my bottles from DJ. Okay, he be mad. He be mad. I'm like, I support Black businesses all day. Okay, listen, and I got a little bit to give. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna drink it. Now, if I don't have tea, I'll just take the cap full and just shoot it.
Right,
so,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I even do 2 capfuls at a time.
I always recommend chasing it with water because it's extremely bitter and it's strong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But I'm used to that.
Right,
it's like shooting a shot of like vodka or something.
Right, exactly.
So that's pretty much what you're getting. So if you could drink a little alcohol, okay, you could drink this as well too. So as far as and this is how you would tell a lot of your customers to take it when they had COVID, because
when they had COVID,
the heat
the only difference would be, like you said, to drink it hot. You know what I mean? To drink it hot, almost drink it as a tea. Drink it while it's hot.
Okay.
Right? Because that's going to help get the nutrients and the antiviral nature of the olive leaf in your system that much quicker. You know what I mean? When you're consuming it hot. But then also it's going to oftentimes allow you to begin to sweat certain things out, sweat those toxins out. Let me mention this also because a lot of people ask whether or not they can give olive leaf extract to children. Yes, you can. I would say give a child half of the adult dosage, right? So if you're taking a tablespoon or a teaspoon of 5 milliliters, give a child half of that, and you'll probably have to mix it with like a juice, a cranberry juice,
I did it with my
or something
son.
like that to kind of mask the taste because it's bitter.
Yeah.
And I haven't, come across any child who necessarily likes the taste of olive leaf, but with juice you can help mask it.
Okay. Yeah. Now, should they be worried? Because, in children, sometimes, their blood pressure is already good. Will this like lower the blood pressure too much? Because I know my doctor, when I was telling him I was drinking that, he was like, well, watch your blood pressure now because it'll shoot down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right, I'm good. That's fine. The vital signs are good. So, The
interesting thing about it is it won't lower the blood pressure too much. Okay. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing, even in children. And so that's the beautiful part about it. So if your blood pressure is in a normal range, you can take olive leaf for the antiviral, antibacterial nature and not have to worry about your blood pressure even falling too low. Okay.
I know there was one, I was trying to look for that particular article. I thought I had saved it where it's the NHIC, National
Institute of Health.
Yeah, they actually did a randomized study group too on the respiratory benefits of olive leaf. And I think they did it with 2 athletic groups who had contracted the flu, if I'm not mistaken, in the respiratory infection. And they saw that they had no fatalities, of course. These are kids, but it shortened their flu days.
Absolutely.
Down drastically to almost half. Now, as far as, let's talk about the cancer research on it, because there's evidence to support. Now, this is from the NCBI, which is the National Institute of Health.gov. Evidence to support anti-cancer effect of the olive leaf extract and future directions, And they go on to talk about the traditional Mediterranean diet, of course, is associated with long life, lower prevalence of cardiovascular diseases and cancers. And the main components of this diet include high intake of fruits and vegetables, red wine, My favorite. Extra virgin olive oil, right. Okay, and fish, low intake of dairy and red meat. I don't do dairy at all. As soon as I eat dairy or ate it in the past, I'm congested, right. I'm mucousy, or my stomach is really fucked up. And you don't want to be around me when my stomach fucked up, okay? And low intake of dairy and red meat. And I actually don't eat red meat as well. And olive oil has gained support as a key factor for the health benefits, and there's evidence that this relates to the is this called the
polyphenol?
Polyphenol, okay, the medical terms. Glad we got you here. Content. So olive leaf extract, OLE, contains a higher quantity of the variety of polyphenols than those found in just extra virgin olive oil. Absolutely. So if you think that you can go get a refined bottle of extra virgin olive oil and get what's in here,
it's not enough.
It's not enough. And this comes from the leaf.
Absolutely. That's the difference.
And the olive oil comes from the actual olive that
from the
grows.
Fruit. From the fruit
from
itself.
The fruit of itself. And so they also said there are also important structural differences between the polyphenols from the olive leaf and from those from the olive fruit that may improve the capacity of olive leaf extract to enhance health outcomes. Now, let me get to the cancer part of it, okay? Have you had some customers with cancer hit you up
all the
to
time.
Use this?
Yeah.
And what are they saying before I get into reading this?
Well, first of all, olive leaf extract has been known to shrink cancerous tumors, right? I'll say like this. Shrink tumors, period, whether they're benign or cancerous. Okay. But in addition to the olive leaf extract, we always recommend a change in diet as well, because you don't want to continue to feed cancer cells. Cancer thrives in an acidic environment. Okay. So that's why, in addition to the olive leaf, we always recommend a dietary change as well. But those polyphenols, as well as the active ingredient in olive leaf extract, which is called Old European, are found in trace amounts in the fruit, but they're found in larger quantities in the leaf. And so we have to be able to distinguish olive oil from olive leaf extract.
Then what's in the trunk there? Like, you got the trunk, the tree trunk, and then you got the leaf, and you got the fruit. How potent is the olive trunk, like the olive tree?
Extremely. The only thing is you can't extract, the trunk itself. So like I said, the benefits come from the leaves. Okay. You know what I mean? And trace amounts are in the fruit. That's why, going back to that Mediterranean diet, their health tends to be a lot better because they're getting those trace amounts of polyphenol as well as trace amounts of the Old European. But when you combine that with the benefits of the leaf itself, it's not even comparable.
So listen, if I was a cancer patient, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna have this all in my doctor's office. Sir, what so we're gonna do our little what's that, what they do, radiation, but I'm gonna hit this too.
Absolutely.
What is it? They 9 times out of 10, especially because I have thyroid issues, right? My doctor encourages the use of herbs.
Oh, that's wonderful.
First of all, it's always diet, and then follow with herbs, and then he uses the medication to help me get there faster, but then dials it back or takes me off of it.
That's wonderful.
So I love my doctor. Shout out to Dr. Kazim at Elton Medical in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, he black too.
Oh, okay. That means a lot. Because oftentimes medical doctors aren't trained in herbs, nor are they trained in nutrition. And so, people ask, well, what do you think my doctor is going to say? Oftentimes it's a matter of how they're trained. You know what I mean? And because they don't have a background in herbs or nutrition, they can't really recommend these things. And so they tend to guide patients away from holistic healing. You know what I mean? But what we do is, when a client calls us, or a potential client, they let us know what they're dealing with. And then through our research, we come up with a protocol from a natural modality that addresses the root cause of the issue. And so you can ask yourself, how often have you gone into a hospital and talked to a doctor about what it is you're dealing with, and they recommended a change in diet? You know what I mean? Or, you know what I'm saying?
They don't
or
even really give
herbs.
You advice on that. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
And it's kind of like, well, what are you doing now? Just kind of cut back on the sugar. And it's like, no sugar.
No sugar. No dairy.
No dairy.
You know what I mean? Don't consume anything that's going to, like you mentioned a minute ago, create mucus.
Right.
You see?
Yeah, exactly.
And so that's why these things in terms of going back to holistic health is so important. Yeah. It's so important as a first line of defense.
And you know what? I spoke to my doctor because I was just in New York getting an update because I had a little procedure done on my thyroid. Mm-hmm. Every single doctor wanted to take my thyroid out. And then my doctor was like, why? It's still working.
Right.
We're just going to correct that. So he's a little bit more, well, not a little bit more, he's way more advanced than the doctors. Some of the newer doctors that are coming out of school, he's been doing endocrinology as well as metabolic and things like that for like over 40 years. But he did a procedure on my thyroid and I combined it with the olive leaf as well, where he did like just kind of a electric procedure.
Yeah, and I was going to say it was an outpatient thing,
It was
right?
Outpatient. Radio frequency ablation, where he just kind of attacked the damaged tissue, killed that, and then the rest of my thyroid is working. It's working,
yeah.
And so, and then I went in because I was just like, diabetes, it is a little bit more potent in my family. So as we get older, those things that I was doing young, I cannot do because we are carbohydrate intolerant.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I
and those carbs catch up with us later in life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They oftentimes don't show in our youth because we're active, our metabolism is high, and all of those things. But if we maintain that same diet, into our 30s and 40s, those things begin to creep up. So I educate clients all the time and say what you're actually defining as hereditary is not really hereditary. It's more cultural because those recipes that was passed down from big mama to mama to you are what's actually contributing to the consistency of high blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, heart disease, and all of these other things that we think are associated with just aging, and they're not.
If you grew up like me, it was the black eyed peas with the ham, hot black, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cabbage
Everything
with the ham,
fried.
Everything fried shrimp, fried fish, fried chicken, you name it, all of it. And we're gonna get to the diabetes portion of this too because olive leaf has, in Australia, it's used very heavily.
Absolutely.
And so it says olive polyphenols have been claimed to play an important protective role in cancer and other inflammation-related diseases. Both inflammatory and cancer cell models have shown that the olive leaf polyphenols are anti-inflammatory and protect against DNA damage irritated by free radicals.
Right.
Explain that.
Yeah, what that means is a poor diet is going to create what's known as radicals, right? And so those radicals really interrupt the DNA frequency of our bodies, which contributes to disease in the long run, right? So consuming olive leaf extract consistently helps protect. It's almost like a protective coating for our DNA to be able to fortify against these free radicals. That's essentially what that is saying. And that's why, again, it's so important to not only take olive leaf at the onset of an illness or when you're starting to feel, a headache or some mucus.
Or take it every day. I take mine every day.
Preventive kind of thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And so, again, in the Western diet, we know what we're bombarded with. The reason why it's so difficult for us to really eat healthy is because, and you know this as a vegan person, it requires a tremendous amount of prep time. Yes. You have to prep, and that's the thing. In order to have a successful diet, you have to have a structured life. You know what I mean? And that's really the conversation. You have to be able to take your health serious enough to structure your life around health. And if you can't do that, then you become susceptible to the fast foods and all of those things, the excess carbohydrates and sugars, and that leads to, deteriorating health.
Of course.
And so, again, our company, our premise is to approach everything from a holistic perspective, right? And say, hey, what is it that you can do today to begin to kind of structure your life for long-term health benefits? We're not expecting you to make, a 180 change in the next 10 minutes. That's not practical. That's not realistic for most folks. But take those small incremental steps. Structure your life around getting 8 hours of sleep, or at least 7.
I wish
consistent. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because believe it or not, your body actually heals and detoxifies while you're resting. So if you're trying to function on 4 or 5 hours of sleep a day, that is nowhere near enough time for the body to rejuvenate and detoxify, regardless of what your diet is. Your body has to rest in order to rejuvenate and detoxify, regardless of if you a raw food vegan. You still have to detoxify because we're eating foods that may have pesticides, herbicides, and all of those things. You see? So that is important. Being spiritually centered. I tell people every day, if you have to be to work at 9 o'clock, you should at least get up at 6 so that you can dedicate at least an hour a day to self-love, self-care. Don't allow that alarm clock to just yank you out of your sleep. Put on something mild where you can kind of ease into your wake up, right? Freshen yourself up, wash up, meditate. Take at least 30 minutes a day to meditate and center yourself. Before the children get up, before you have to cook breakfast and all of that, take at least 30 minutes for yourself every day. That's extremely important. Water. Water is extremely important.
Yes.
Most of us are walking around dehydrated and don't even know it. I know we got winos.
Well, they can tell by the color and the smell of their piss.
Absolutely.
If your piss smells strong, if it's highly yellow, it's
damn near green.
I ain't never seen no green piss now.
For folks that are severely dehydrated, their urination is almost brownish green.
Oh Lord.
That is a recipe for disaster. You are doing damage to your kidneys, to your liver, all of your vital organs, right?
Oh.
We should be drinking. Put it like this. If you have a glass of wine, and I'm not against wine at all.
You can't.
If you have a glass of wine, you have to say, this glass of wine, I have to now commit to drinking a gallon of water because I don't ever want to be in a dehydrated state.
Because it will dehydrate you. Trust me, I know.
Will dehydrate you.
When I have wine, I don't know if you've seen my shows, I have a big bottle of water there
right
at the same time because I'm flushing it out as I go. Because I'll wake up the next day and I'm like, what is wrong?
You're dragging.
I'm dragging because I'm dehydrated.
You're
because
dehydrated.
I'm peeing more and everything like that. So no, I totally understand you. And for those of y'all that are not vegan, you don't have to be vegan to take this product.
Not at all.
Let me tell you what I typically do, because sometimes, like, I'm getting ready to travel, right? And I'm going into a different culture, whereas I'm not going to be able to have easy access to the food that I have here. Like he said earlier, you have to structure your life. So because I'm so busy, where I lived at in Georgia, I didn't have access to a lot of vegan restaurants.
Right.
I didn't have time to cook. So my diet was much worse.
Right.
Okay. I'm much more sicker, all the time. And then my stress levels up. I got a baby. I got health problems. I'm working. I'm doing everything. Right. So what we did was reorganize the life, brought our asses to South Florida, and everywhere we go around here, it's a vegan shop. It's a smoothie shop.
Walking distance.
See? So I'm way more, I'm 100% more active than I was living in the suburbs of Georgia.
Right, and having to drive 45 minutes to an hour to get something healthy to eat.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's not practical.
Every restaurant is serving grilled fish and asparagus. You understand what I'm saying? Right. Or something like that, or vegetable plates, because they understand that this is a very health conscious area that we're in. And so I don't have to be like, oh, is it going to be sushi? Is it going to be pho tonight? Is it going to be fried chicken? What is it going to be?
Right.
I have to kind of maneuver and make menus on my own and stuff like that. And so I made sure that I structured my environment so that I could eat. And if you don't have time to go vegan, just say, okay, every month for a week, I'm going to just do plant-based.
Right.
And then do an extra week where I just do nothing. Like, because I fasted with just only olive leaf, green tea, black coffee, and water.
See?
And I'll do a 4 to 5 day fast and detox myself, okay? Yep. But I make sure this is always in my tea or my coffee when I'm doing it, because it helps to add and, just kind of reset the gut and stuff like that.
Exactly, which is extremely important. Let me mention this, because I know as we go into the new year, you have a lot of people who are going to be focused on losing weight. Right? And I talk about this
all the time.
Yeah, I talk about this all the time. The issue of weight is really an issue of nutrition. Okay? Most people that are overweight, it's not because they eat a lot of food, right? It's the lack of nutrients that contributes to the body storing fat. When the body is starved of nutrients, it stores fat as a mechanism because it actually thinks that it's starving. So even though a person is maybe eating excessive amounts of food, they're actually malnourished. And malnourished doesn't mean a lack of food. Malnourished simply means a lack of nutrients. What the moringa cilantro superfood does, it gives the body 100% of what it needs on a daily basis.
Shut up.
It does. 100%.
I didn't even know that.
Yes,
I would do this like once a week.
I'm telling you, this is the key. The moringa cilantro, 2 teaspoon scoops in a plant-based milk, right? Hemp milk or almond milk or coconut milk. Y'all know I don't do cow milk. Black people, nobody really should be consuming cow milk at all.
I agree.
Plant-based milk, a hemp milk, a coconut milk, or almond milk. 2 scoops, 2 teaspoon scoops. That could be in a smoothie. You can jazz it up with some fruit, but put it in a blender, smoothie. Right? Yeah. That would be your breakfast and your lunch. For folks who work a job, do that in the morning. I'm giving you the game on how to lose weight and keep it off in a healthy way.
So you know what I'm gonna be doing? Because I'm a regular at certain smoothie shops around here. I'm just gonna take it in there. And I'm gonna be like, throw this in my smoothie. That's what I pay them for. Right. If I'm paying $15 for a smoothie,
exactly.
you better
as well.
scoop.
Yeah, you might as well. Bring the bag in with you.
Exactly. They gonna know Miss K in here.
With 2 teaspoon scoops of that in a plant-based milk, blend it up. Like I said, you could jazz it up with some fruit. That will serve as your breakfast and as your lunch.
That's how powerful it is.
That's how powerful it is. It will supplement 2 meals. Now, the first week, you may feel a little funny because you're going without lunch. You know what I mean? Most of us don't eat breakfast anyway, but you're going for an extended period of time, right? And you could even do it again in the afternoon if you're just feeling hungry. But that 1 meal a day, if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, your last meal needs to be at least 2 hours prior to resting. Remember that. No meals less than 2 hours before rest.
I stop eating at 5 o'clock, and I don't eat the next day till like 12 sometime.
See? You see why I'm here?
Yeah.
So that's why I mentioned a second ago, structuring your life so that you give your metabolism time to digest and work your food. You don't want to eat and then go and lay down, because now your digestive system, your digestive system has to work overtime trying to digest food and also detoxify while you're resting. You see? So just imagine this. You're going to bed at 10. You're eating at 9 o'clock, right? So you're going to bed with food, undigested food in your stomach, in your gut. Your digestive system now has to try to work to break down the food to send the nutrients throughout your body while at the same time trying to detoxify. So you're only getting
2
5 hours of sleep.
Before bedtime, no food.
No food.
No food.
No food.
Okay.
No food. And so when you're only getting 5-6 hours of sleep, that's not enough time for the body to do what it needs to do to reset the clock so that you feel full, energized, vibrant, energetic the next day. You see, that's why following that particular structure is so important. Being active, getting enough sleep, resting, drinking water, centering yourself. Right? That's getting away from toxic relationships. You see, all of these things are important as we go into the new year. It's a new opportunity. It's a way for you to become a new version of yourself. Take advantage of it. But again, 2 teaspoons a day in a plant-based milk, that will serve as your breakfast and your lunch.
Just teaspoons, not tablespoons.
Just two teaspoon scoops.
Now, let me tell you what the NIH has said about the review of the safety and efficiency of moringa. Is it aloe vera? Is that how you say that? Okay, cool. Because this is the moringa and cilantro in superfood form, and it also has protein, fat.
All of those things.
Carbohydrates, fat, fiber, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, potassium, iron, sulfur, vitamins A, B1, B2, and vitamin C.
Everything that your body requires.
Wow.
Everything.
Okay. And it says the moringa oleifera leaves, seeds, barks, roots, sap,
in whatever
flowers,
form.
in whatever form, are widely used as a traditional medicine. And the leaves and the immature seed pods are used as food products in human nutrition. So leaf extracts exhibit the greatest antioxidant activity, and various safety studies in animals involving aqueous. What's that word? I don't know how to say it.
I can't see it from here,
aqueous leaf extracts indicate a high degree of safety. So they're saying that it's safe. No adverse effects were reported in the association with human studies, and 5 human studies using powdered whole leaf preparations of the moringa have been published, which demonstrated anti-hyperglycemic, anti-dyslipidemic, anti-diabetic. Yeah, that's what that means. Anti-diabetic. And these activities have been confirmed using extracts as well as leaf powders in animal studies. So both in animals and in humans, it shows anti-hyperglycemic, anti-diabetic activities from using this particular herb here, which I'm going to be taking down to my juice bar. Okay, that's black owned. You know what I'm saying? And I would be like, throw this in there. She gonna be like, no problem, sis. And let me just add a little more here, just to kind of kick it in overdrive here. And it says a rapidly growing number of published studies have shown that the moringa. Hold on for a second. Okay, that the moringa or alcohol extracts of the moringa leaves possess a wide range of additional biological activities, including antioxidant, tissue protective, liver, kidneys, heart, testes, and lungs.
All of the things that in the African American community we suffer with. You see, we have so many respiratory issues and so many issues with our vital organs because we're not getting enough nutrients on a regular basis. Again, we're eating a lot of food, but we're still starved of nutrients. And so to that person who has been struggling with the issue of weight, again, that is an issue of nutrition. Give the body the nutrients that it needs. You will lose the weight and keep it off. That's why those appetite suppressants and all of those things, they don't work long term because they're not dealing with the root cause of the issue. The root cause of the issue is what we're putting in our bodies, not starving the body in an effort to lose weight. That just sends the body back into panic mode. You see what I mean? And we begin to actually store more fat because the body is in a stressed state. Give the body the nutrients that it needs and you won't have an issue of weight.
And see, that's my problem because I don't get enough sleep. My diet is good. My exercise regimen is over the top. I'm doing CrossFit. I'm doing power lifts, power cleans. But because I do not get enough sleep, it is harder for me to break down fat.
Absolutely.
What he's saying is so true. My doctor tells me go to sleep.
Got to get sleep.
I got to get sleep. But the way my schedule is, I said starting January 1st, well, starting actually on Tuesday. My ass gonna be going to sleep, and I'm gonna cut whatever I got to do. Cut off my phone. I'm gonna sleep.
I get teased by my friends because I go to bed at 9 o'clock.
I can't do that, DJ.
I go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm still working past
9.
Now, see, you got to be willing to, like I said, take the hit. You know what I mean? Because nothing is more important than your health.
I'm gonna start moving my show hours up. It's just gonna have to happen.
And what you will find is you will be more productive during those times where you're up. You know what I mean? You trust me. I take the hit from my friends because they like, well, we know we can't call DJ after 9 o'clock because we gonna get the voicemail. But they know that I'm also up at 5. You see, they may not get up until 9, but I need those 2 hours of self-love, self-care to actually start my day.
DJ.
I'm a 50-year-old black man who puts 2 hours a day.
Stop that. You're reaching now. You're reaching.
Yes.
You 50.
Yes, 50, 5-0. 5-0.
DJ.
And I'm telling you, that is key to long-term health. You see, putting enough time into your self-love, self-care regimen. I'm not talking about the spouse. I'm not talking about the children. I'm not talking about the job, the career, or no bag. You see, there's nothing more important than your self-love, self-care. That is actually the basis of what attraction is about.
You know how you go to church and then the preacher, right? And you know he ain't living right, but you living right. But then he started talking to you, be like, how the hell he know I did that?
Yeah, you looking at it like,
and I ain't talked to this man. This is how I feel, because my sleep hours are 12 to 4.
Nah, we can't do that.
12 to 4. I get up at 5 a.m. I do my meditation, I do my prayer, then I ride my bike to the gym, and my day doesn't end until
you done
12.
messed up with me, because I'm gonna be on you now. Yeah, I'm gonna be on you now, and also Shaq.
And it's Shaq's fault.
I'm gonna be on Shaq too.
Shaq only wants what he wants at midnight. See? You see what I'm saying?
And I know Shaq has an irregular sleep pattern too.
Oh
We've worked together on a number of projects.
I'm on his. Right. I never thought.
Yeah, and I know Shaq. I'll get text messages from Shaq at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, bro, you supposed to have already had 6 hours of sleep by now. You see what I'm saying?
No, that does not go down. Shaq is always woken up before everybody in the world is woken up, but he does go to sleep. He'll go to sleep from 2 to 4 in the afternoon.
And I know even with Shaq, and I don't want to make this conversation about my brother, but I know not to even call Shaq prior to 11 in the morning, because I know oftentimes he may still be resting. You see what I'm saying? Because his sleep pattern is that irregular. Yeah. So that's why I say when people know how your schedule, they adjust to it. Yeah. You're not going to miss out on anything setting that schedule and sticking to it. Trust me. Everybody who's going to want to sit down with you and be interviewed, they're going to adjust to whatever the schedule is. Trust me.
That's what I'm gonna have to do, because like the only time I seen Shaq get some sleep is when we went to Africa.
See?
And he was in bed 9 o'clock. He didn't wake up till 7. He was sleeping 12 hours.
See what I mean?
That was the most I had seen him. But if he has work on his mind, right? He's not. He's I can't sleep till I die. That's how he. And I'm like, dude, you have to go to sleep.
But see, the thing about America is, America will kill you. You see what I mean? America will actually
don't make me move my offices over there to Africa now.
I'm telling you, that's why we have to. That's why we have to take control of our own individual health, because again, I preach this. We can't turn the most important aspect of our life over to people that we don't even know.
That's true.
And we're not even sure of whether or not they have our best interests at heart. So when you go into the hospital, right?
Okay.
You have to add, because a lot of people think that the hospital is actually there to treat you. That's not what a hospital is for. A hospital is actually like a car dealership. They're there to sell you health services. That's what a hospital does. A hospital ain't giving you anything. You see, whether you have insurance or not, they're there to sell you health services. So if you go in there with that mindset, then you can make the best decision for yourself. You're already armed with the information and you know how to balance the relationship. So you deal with a hospital the same way that you would deal with a car dealership or a car salesman. You see, you're always looking for the best deal. Don't allow these people, if you can help it, to be invasive with your health. Look for the natural alternatives, because I remember when my wife went into the hospital, they didn't even know what was going on. It was an emergency situation, and the nurse walked in with a pill in a cup.
For what?
They hadn't even taken any they hadn't even done anything. And that pill was about $300. Well, we just want to give you something to relax you. But you haven't even taken any vitals to determine what the issue is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so
they making crackheads. And so
on guess
arrival.
What? We realized through that experience that she was dealing with anxiety, right?
Oh yeah.
And guess what we did? We figured out a natural, holistic way to deal with her anxiety, the root cause. And we realized, okay, you have to now restructure some things. Stay in a certain type of energy as it relates to your business, as it relates to the children, as it relates to me. Don't allow these things to pull you away from your center, right? We got massage therapy. We had sessions around acupuncture. She no longer deals with anxiety anymore. You talk to her outside. She has a very pleasant disposition every day.
I'm gonna need your wife to do a podcast separate.
We
can make that happen.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
When you see her skin, Like,
oh yeah, and she is one. Let me tell you, she is literally the most powerful person I have ever met, and I just so happened to be able to make her my wife. You see what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, I'm born and raised in New Orleans. When I met her, I was not even plant-based. I'm eating Popeyes and everything. And she said, we got to get this right, because if I'm going to be in your life and you're going to be in mine, I need you around.
Didn't you say you were fat at one point? No?
No, I was never fat, but I was extremely unhealthy in terms of my diet.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? And so connecting with the right person is going to push you in that positive direction. So many things opened up for us as a result of just me changing my diet, having a different disposition, energetically, the whole nine. You know what I mean? And so your partner is extremely important in determining how long you stay on this planet. You see, so even when I'm tempted to kind of eat some things that I know that I'm not supposed to, she'll be like, okay, now you know what we on, you know what we're about. You know what I mean? You got to be consistent. And even if she has a challenging moment, I'm there to back her up. That's what that's
how
about.
It should be. That's how it should be.
That's what that's about.
I told Shaq, I said,
it's a 1-2. It's a 1-2 thing. It's never supposed to be on that individual.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I know if one person is plant-based or vegan and the partner is not, that's difficult. Because I know what I put her through in the early stage of our relationship when I wasn't fully committed to a plant-based lifestyle. Our children are now on a plant-based lifestyle. You know what I mean? Our children eat fruits and vegetables every day.
That's nice.
You know what I mean? And so if you have challenges getting your children to eat fruit and vegetables, she can help you with that.
Okay. Now
you know
we're
what I mean?
definitely bring her on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So she can keep my daughter on a vegan diet because she's doing good. Her skin cleared up.
See?
She lost a ton of weight.
See what I mean? She probably don't even have issues with acne or any of those things associated with puberty.
And she's always been so happy.
Right.
But I noticed like she was starting to get like really just kind of in the dump.
The low frequency food will keep you in a certain type of mindset, especially as a teenager, because they're dealing with hormonal things and all of that anyway.
Yeah, that is just insane. I got Shaq for the first time ever in 17 years. Now Shaq has always kind of done what I've done. Like if I cook this, that's what he eats.
He'll eat it. Yeah.
But he would also go sneak off and go get like shit and eat it outside the house. And then I get in his car and I see like
the bag or
yeah, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So I finally this year, before we went to Africa, I got him to do a 45-day vegan diet.
Wow, that's powerful.
He felt so good.
See?
His sleep patterns definitely got better. Improved, and then when we got to Africa, of course, he introduced meat back into his diet, but he was sleeping longer. He was energetic. He's in the gym. Because I tell him all the time, I'm like, if you think I'm going to be in my 50s wheeling you to doctor's appointments,
nah, that ain't going to work.
That ain't going to work. I'm not doing it. So you going to put down the steak. Right. Okay? You're going to pick up the salad.
Right.
I'm not, I'm just, that's just not me. So
yeah, it's a frequency. It's an energy. Food. And I say this all the time. When you open up your refrigerator, you're either looking at life or you're looking at death. There's no in between.
Well, ain't shit in mine.
You know what I mean? And sometimes that's even better.
It is. Because I don't snack at home.
You know what I mean? Right.
I don't snack at home. I eat when I'm supposed to eat. Like, okay, it's time for me to eat, so let me go get some food. But I'm not going back and forth to the refrigerator
and
or to the cabinet. So I don't buy food.
Right. Absolutely. And even, you know, we talk about this all the time. When you have a plant-based or vegan diet, you're not going to have a bunch of stuff in your refrigerator anyway, because the food that we eat goes bad in a short amount of time. And again, this is where structuring your life comes in, because you're going to have to go to the grocery store several times a week. Whereas in the traditional standard American diet, you can probably get away with going to the grocery store once a week or, week and a half or something like that. You know what I mean?
Every day now.
You see what I mean?
Because it's across the street from my house now.
And so that prep time is extremely important. You know what I mean? And because we're eating primarily fruits and vegetables, that stuff has to be fresh. So you only have a small window of time before that food has to be consumed, and you have to go to the grocery store again. So it's not expensive. You know, a lot of people think, is it going to cost a whole lot? Trust me, it's not.
And farmers markets are the best.
We just before we even came here, we stopped at the farmers market.
Oh, yeah, because they got one on the beach today.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they have a farmers market.
We got some seeded watermelon.
Yeah.
We got some passion fruit.
Yeah.
We got some seeded grapes. This is just for our road trip back home.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? What else did we get? We got a big old jug of coconut water.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get down there because they close at 5.
See,
and they only come once every Saturday.
Right.
But like, you know, I know because Chelsea has kind of brought this up to me, and I couldn't even believe Chelsea had brought this up to me. She was like, Tasha, I think you're kind of out of touch with your viewers. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, when you told your viewers to just go to Publix. And I was like, but Publix is everywhere, right?
Where shopping is a pleasure.
She said, yeah. She said, no, it's not. And I'm like, what?
No, it's not a nationwide
chain. And I'm like, well, when I lived in the hood, I was at Food Depot.
Right.
Okay. And Food Depot, their fruit and vegetable selection is pretty damn good. They have seeded grapes, seeded watermelon, and I love how they prepackage it and make it so cheap. And if I couldn't get the Food Depot, you
sell it by the slice.
Yeah, they sell it by the slice. And if I couldn't go there, I would go to the Nam farmers market.
What's that? The Vietnamese?
The Vietnamese, because I'm telling you, I don't see very many. I see Africans in there, but I don't see very many Black Americans in there. And if they knew how long their EBT card will go in a farmers market,
exactly. It goes 3 times as far.
It's 3 times as much. I was just talking to Gunplay about that during our interview. He was like, where you? I said, so how am I out of touch? Now I'm out of touch because I live across the street from a Whole Foods, and then we got a Greenrise, and both of them got buffets because I don't have time to cook. So I go in there, I fix my plate. They got the ingredients on what's in there, how much salt, so I get to see what I'm putting in my body. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Talking to Gunplay by the farmers market. I love it.
He into it.
I'm saying the irony in the two names.
He is into
you know
it.
What I mean?
He said he's had to kind of get on a journey of health and wellness, to really overcome
repair his body.
To repair his body. That's what he was saying, because he said he didn't go to no detox treatment to kick his cocaine habit or drug habit. He went natural. So and he's been clean since DMX died. He said that was a wake up call. So,
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I definitely want to continue to encourage the brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? And keep at it, man, because I say all the time, you know, that $20, you know, you would spend doing something wrong can go much further doing something right.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so anybody who's taking those positive steps, you know, in this environment, in terms of America, I salute you.
You don't have the syringe here with you, do you?
No. We still have it on the website. You're talking about the olive leaf extract gel.
Yeah.
We still have it on our website. I didn't bring it with me because it takes a long time to prepare. But it's still available. It helps people with the skin lesions, the alopecia, and all of those different things. And you'll see it on our website.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to, because I know I said I was going to touch on the diabetes portion of it, because that is a big thing in our community. And I remember going into my doctor's office last week when I was doing my random blood work. And I was like, hey, is there something, because I've been doing a lot of research, right? And even though I have this in my system, something that just kind of adds to it. So they have like these little procedures. And I'm like, I noticed y'all doing like, y'all won't do gastric sleeves on like, you know, people who are diabetic but not overweight, right? And he was like, yeah, I don't know why they won't approve it. And I was like, well, has anybody come up with like any type of metabolic just procedure? And he looked at me, he was like, how did you know about that? And I was just like, no, I'm asking because it makes sense.
It makes sense. From a holistic perspective, it makes absolute sense.
Right. And I'm like, instead of putting people on this diabetic medication, is there a procedure that you can do to help keep the metabolism going? And he says, my friend who studies at NYU just patented a metabolic procedure that they're doing on patients now who have type 2 diabetes that will help to control
the blood sugar,
blood sugar and the metabolic processes without them having to take insulin or anything like that. And they add some herbs to it. He was like, but that's high level knowledge. How did you know that? I said, listen, I was just using common sense. Like, it's got to be something out there.
It always is. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's technology out there that, again, will help us maintain a holistic way of life to where, and again, I'm not against mainstream medicine.
Yeah.
If you're in a car accident, God forbid, or a traumatic event, they're A1 when it comes to that. You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're talking about preventative,
yes.
You know what I mean? And so oftentimes what we go to the doctor for, what we go to the hospital for, can actually be and should actually be prevented on the front end. That's where the diet and the herbs in terms of supplementation come in at. But by all means, if you're in an emergency type situation, go to the hospital.
You're supposed to. No, and that's what led me into my next thing, because he was just like, listen, he said, I know that that's a concern from you. You don't have diabetes or anything. You don't have pre-diabetes. However, you know, we can do some things so that you don't even have to worry about it, and you could continue your herbal medicine. He said, so when they open it up for people like you to go in there, I'll send you in there. It's gonna be about $50,000. But like, if you think about the medicine or just the long-term effects with kidney issues and stuff like that. But he was just like, but listen, when I was in medical school, because my doctor's 75, he looks every bit of 45, 50. He takes care of himself, right? He was just like, we were told there was no cure for diabetes. When you got it, you got it. So we just had to learn to maintain it. Then 20 years of research came up. 20 years of research came. Then they're saying we can control it. And then so we're controlling it. Now we can completely prevent it.
Right. On the front end.
On the front end. He said there's no reason as to why people should be developing type 2 diabetes. Type 1, that's a little different.
Right.
But type 2, no. He said, and so like, there's just so many different ways, whether you want to go herbal or whether you want to come in here, your doctor should be telling you how to prevent it, which is essentially a carbohydrate intolerance. Right. Just like when you have a gluten intolerance or a dairy intolerance, you're intolerant, you have an allergy to carbohydrates, so you should not
because all of those things turn into sugar.
Right.
You see, that's the issue. And we're not talking about the natural sugars, the sugars that come from fruit and things like that. We're talking about those starches, those carbohydrates, those synthetic sugars that, you know, that the white rice, right? The pasta, you see, things of that nature. So when you're eating a diet high in carbs, you're essentially eating a candy bar.
Pretty much.
You see, there is really no difference in the amount of sugar in a Snicker bar and what the body is actually going to convert into sugar when you're eating white rice, white flour, pasta, and all of those things. And so again, later on in life, those excessive carbs catch up with us, and to your point, we become carbohydrate intolerant. Let me speak on eczema real quick also, because we get a lot of calls from adults as well as children that are dealing with severe eczema. Eczema is caused by the body's allergic reaction to wheat. Wheat. Wheat is converted in such a way to where it creates yeast. Okay? Candida is yeast.
We know, ladies. We know.
Right. Absolutely. So you cannot treat eczema with topicals and creams. You can't do it. Eczema is an internal issue that simply manifests on the skin. The olive leaf extract original formula is excellent to neutralize the body's allergic reaction to wheat. 3 teaspoons at night before bed with some water will begin to neutralize that whole yeast process, and you will find your skin clearing up over time. There is no better way to clear the body of issues related to eczema than olive leaf extract. I
gave my son eczema. I was eating, I'll never forget, because this is when I didn't know I had like hyperthyroidism at the time. And hyperthyroidism, although people say, oh, will you lose weight?
Overactive.
But it was overactive, and everything I was doing in extreme. So when I ate in extreme, right? And so I remember
sensory overload.
Yes, my husband would bring in these muffins from Sprouts. They was pistachio muffins. Because of the lack of sleep, because my thyroid is off, because of the postpartum, I made like 4 or 5 muffins, right?
Wow.
A day.
Yeah.
No, seriously, a day. I fucking noticed his skin was starting to get bad, and I was like, what the hell is going on, right?
Because you're passing it.
I passed it through my breast milk because I was like, oh, my kids got good skin. What the hell going? I got good skin, but it didn't affect me. It affected him because the way they're making the wheat now is just getting worse and worse and worse.
And he's brand new to this realm, so he hasn't developed the immunity yet.
Up.
I remember you called me.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell, man? I pull all that shit. Now he loves bread,
right?
However, we do it in moderation. You know what I'm saying? And then now he's doing it because he's living in Africa, but the way they make the bread over there, the ingredients is completely different. So he's not even having no eczema reactions, and so like. I was fucking my little son up. Fucking me up too. Because I made myself like at that time pre-diabetic. Because my husband would make like 2 pots of like either beef stew or chicken stew or rice. And then he would wake up the next day and that shit be gone. See? I didn't even know. He was like, how the fuck did you eat too? But it was my thyroid.
It's out of whack.
I was just like.
And you're not even realizing you're consuming that much.
No.
Because see what happens when the thyroid is not balanced, the brain doesn't send the signal to the stomach to say, hey, I'm good.
Bruh, I was hungry.
So you will continue to eat.
Listen.
When your thyroid is overactive.
He called me the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, absolutely. Irritable, the whole nine.
Yes.
As well as not being able to sleep. That's going to also contribute to irritability. Oh man. When I tell you I'm surprised I'm alive now. Yeah, that's a lot of women deal with the issues of postpartum. That's a big thing. Yeah, that's a big thing. And like you said, the weight gain and all of that, and just a certain disposition is an indicator that there's a much deeper issue going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's why those things have to be. Well, she just said she may have the baby blues. And we know what postpartum could actually lead to when it's not addressed. You see what I'm saying? Women hurting themselves, hurting their children. And those signs oftentimes be there, but the people are so distracted, they are not really perceptive and can see what's really going on. It's a cry for help.
I had my husband, I'm telling you, I don't know what I would have done because breastfeeding every 2 hours around the clock. Yeah, that takes its toll. Baby's colic, my thyroid's out of whack. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know if it's day or night outside. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, I was definitely covered. I got to tell you, because I was going through it. But what else was I going to say in terms of this with the diabetes? Did we even cover like what it does in terms of people being diabetic or already diabetic? Now, we're not telling you to stop your medication. Definitely let your doctors know. Absolutely. But I did see that there are tons of YouTube videos from actual people in Australia. I don't think I tightened this well. From actual people in Australia that and Australian doctors are really pushing heavily on the olive leaf extract in their diabetes patients. Right. And so until they wean them off the medication, and then they, of course, with diet and lifestyle changes and stuff like that. But the olive leaf is heavy. How, in your opinion, with your customers, what are some of the feedback you're getting with the olive leaf extract with your type 2 diabetic patients?
The beautiful thing about it is the olive leaf extract, and again, just like Tasha said, we never recommend anybody stop any medication cold turkey. That's a recipe for disaster because your body has developed a dependency for the medication. So it's always best to incorporate the olive leaf along with your medication for a certain amount of time. So what the olive leaf extract is designed to do is to help regulate diabetic blood sugar, just like insulin and all of these other medications. So over time, you may be able to wean yourself off of the medication. Now, if you have type 2 diabetes, oftentimes you have a cuff or a monitor to see where your blood sugar is, you see, on a regular basis. Continue to do that even when you take the olive leaf extract, because you want to make sure it's right for you. It may not even, because not all herbs work 100% on everybody. You know what I mean? And so you have to be aware. It's not, it's not a silver bullet, so to speak. Knowing your body is key to knowing whether or not this particular product works well for you, like you say, along with the diet, along with the rest, along with all of those other things. So it's a holistic approach. We're not just trying to go from insulin or medication to now being dependent on olive leaf extract. That's not, we want a holistic approach where we maintain a healthy lifestyle. But if there's an issue there, olive leaf serves as a bridge,
right,
you see, to help get us where we need to be.
Okay. No, I just really wanted you to speak on that because, that's something heavy in our community, in the world. Now, I think the new numbers came out a couple weeks ago that over 50% of people in the world suffer from diabetes, which is carbohydrate intolerance.
Exactly.
So, they just dropping bags of rice
everywhere. Everywhere. Absolutely.
Listen,
absolutely.
Bags of rice just everywhere. And so
and also that issue of cholesterol as well is an issue of saturated fat. Eating a diet heavy in fat, right? That leads to clogged arteries, heart disease, heart attacks,
and diabetes,
cardiovascular issues. All of those things are related to diet.
So listen, if they want to get started, I know it's the holidays, we're in a recession and things like that, but I always look, I have two things that I spend my money on: trips and herbs. I kid you
Absolutely.
not. I will go, I go all out on herbs now. Like, I have everything in my, there's nothing I don't have. And I was going to tell you too, because, I've suffered from anxiety for a long time. In addition to all of the meditation, the breathing, the lifestyle changes, I noticed that I was deficient in omega-3s and 6s and 9, and I think it's a 9 if I'm not mistaken. And I watched a very good documentary on a Delta flight coming back from Mali, and they were doing the research of the omega-3 and how we lack it, and how anxiety and brain issues and like Alzheimer's and all that stuff was really, really high just from missing this one. These three key fats that your brain needs. And when I tell you, when I introduced the omega-3s into my diet heavy, I saw a drastic change in my memory improvement, along with, of course, incorporating exercise, more fruits and vegetables. That's always been my thing anyway. And of course, having the olive leaf. So I just wanted to tell you that piece. So absolutely, yeah, maybe you can roll out a omega-3 combination.
Well, actually, the omegas are in the moringa itself.
Really?
That's the beautiful part about it. It's all in there.
Oh,
you know
perfect.
what I mean? And so you're going to get all of the omega, the omega suite is what I call it, right?
Okay.
Of all those essential fatty oils, because that's to your point of mental clarity and staying sharp. That's where that comes in. So it's all in that moringa. All right,
y'all heard that, the moringa. Look, I was speaking too soon, and he already had it covered. So listen, you have something you want to offer exclusively to the viewers, since they've been heavy supporters of yours on this channel, on this platform for years.
Absolutely.
I think we're going on 5 years?
Almost, almost 5 years. Yeah, it's been a while.
And you know what I love about what you do? I've never had one person reach out to me to say they ain't get their shit.
Oh no, we ship product. That's what.
Sometimes
they get their product twice. We've been known to ship extras.
Not one. I'm like, damn, DJ, listen, and when I ordered from YouTube, I should be there today. I'm like, I just ordered this. You faster than Amazon. Like, what the fuck?
Listen. The staff be like, come on, man. Do we need to check? Can we change the shipping policy?
No.
This is like, I'll be like, hell no.
No, that's how you get paid.
Nothing. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, we black owned. We want black folks to know they
Jeff Bezos need to literally consult with you on shipping.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But nobody has ever ever, if I can say that with everything in me. Because we have, especially if they're up and coming brands, or maybe they're brands, but they get too overwhelmed,
and can't keep up with the demand.
With the demand.
Yeah.
You managed to even keep up with demand around COVID nobody.
And see, this is why we keep our product offering limited. We don't have 30 different products on our website.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. Because that becomes logistically too much to deal with. Okay. You know what I mean? And so we produce enough product in a way that we can manage. You know what I mean? And so regardless of where we're advertising, how we're advertising, who we're advertising to, we know that we have enough product to meet the demand, because we're not trying to get every single dollar, because olive leaf and moringa addresses a lot, but it doesn't address everything, and we're not trying to address every single issue. You know what I mean? We have a focus in an area of specialty that we're comfortable with. And guess what? If a client calls and there's something that we can't help with, we gladly refer them every day to other practitioners that have that area of specialty. Now, to those who may get a referral from us, please ship their product on time, because it's still a representation of us, especially if we recommended it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So please ship product, y'all.
Okay.
There's nothing that makes me feel worse than having somebody call and we recommend a specific company and they're waiting weeks to get product. Yeah. The other reason why we don't do that is because we've been successful in helping thousands of clients get off of medication. The last thing we want is for somebody to be successful in weaning themselves off of high blood pressure medication, and all they have to take is the olive leaf, and now they run out and they're waiting a month to get it. They're just simply going to go back on the medication. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's why we take these things so serious.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what the hell he got going on, but you need to contact Jeff, because he done dropped the ball. I order vitamins and shit from Jeff. It take a week and a half, 2 weeks sometimes. I'm like, right. I'm a prime member. What the hell? So listen, no, that's what I love about you, and I just wanted to praise you on air for that, because I don't think a lot of people understand how important that is, because a lot of times, because we represent so many Black brands, right? They think that I own it because I take it on as if it's mine. Right. And I'm like, no, I don't own it, but I look at my clients as partners. It's a partnership, right?
Absolutely.
And then I love that anything that you guys make, I do it too. So if I don't do it, it's just like, you know how many people we get hit up from like wig companies, and I'm like, you obviously ain't researched your market or who I am. Right. Exactly. So I'm supposed to just put on the wig and
for today, right?
Come on now, So I mean, we get that all the time. Like, there's plenty of other platforms who are glad to lay the lace front on. Okay, right. But yeah, I love that about you, and I just kind of wanted to congratulate you on that for just being serious, because I think as African Americans have as entrepreneurs, we're always looked at as like, oh, we don't run our businesses right. Right. Like we're a mom and pop. Now I gotta tell you now, in Africa, we are the same.
Right.
When everything Black owned, they come in when they want to come in.
Yeah, it's a different rhythm on the continent.
But I noticed like that's where we get it from, right? Because we're such a minority here, and everybody else is on schedule. Yeah, absolutely. When you go to Africa, you may walk to a business and they ain't open. Nah, he don't walk around the corner.
They may say they open at 9 and it's 11 o'clock and ain't nobody showed up.
And then you call them on the cell phone. I'm on my way. I had a couple of meetings. It's like that everywhere.
It's like that in the Caribbean. You know what I mean? They take care of you when you just make sure you got time.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Don't be in no hurry, because they are not in hurry.
Absolutely. But in America, like you said, and especially dealing, or I would say working with the African American community, we have to be sensitive, because there are a lot of scammers out there. Yeah. There are a lot of people who take people's money, don't ship product, ship product extremely late, ship damaged product, ship product that inferior packaging, and people paying for things that are not they're not getting what they paid for. So you have those issues, and all of us, I don't care what type of business you're in, we're all essentially operating hospitals, because we're dealing with our people and their issues, their traumas, their disappointments, their all of that around business. Right. You know what I mean? And so I spend a tremendous amount of time explaining to people that it's not just about selling you a product. I want you at the end of because I still have conversations with clients. Tasha, you be surprised. You know how I am. You know what I mean? And they'll ask one question, and I find myself being on the phone with a client for 45 minutes. Oh, wow. I done gave them a whole and they like, well, DJ, I gotta go. I was on my lunch, and I'm just going in. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm sorry, I ain't mean to do you, but you got me on my soapbox. You know what I mean? Don't ask me nothing. Just go to the website. You know what I mean? But again, I it's a pleasure.
No, anytime. So you also have a gift that you're offering the viewers, okay? Yeah. And so cash too. So tell us about what you came here to offer them today.
So going into the new year, we're offering what's called a Challenge 15. a weight loss challenge because we want our clients to experience the benefits of the olive leaf extract as well as the moringa cilantro superfood. So at the end of a 90-day challenge, you can receive a $500 cash prize. 500 for a man, 500 for a woman. Whoever loses the most weight over the course of 90 days. Okay. Right. And so the way you get in it is you go to the website shopmyoliveleaf.com. Okay. And you purchase the moringa cilantro and the olive leaf extract bundle. Right. And it's real simple. And at the end of that 90-day challenge, again, whoever loses the most weight will receive a $500 cash prize. I know you'll be announcing some things in conjunction with that as well, but I wanted to put that out there, because it's already on the website. Okay. The olive leaf and extract bundle. So they can go and order now and start immediately. And you're going to have to film your weight loss. There's some things that you're going to have to do. No pictures. Again, right. We want to see the scale. Right. Going up when you we want to be able to verify and all that. But again, it's one of the most effective ways of losing weight and keeping it off is to get those nutrients in your body. But challenge 15, and you're also going to get 15% off of the bundle as well. All right, you heard that. So listen, the link is going to be below, so they can go ahead and get started on their challenge 15. Yep. It starts officially January 1st. January 1. January 1. So you're gonna have to put the black eyed peas down and the well, you can do them on the 31st. But you know what I mean? But or just eat the beans. Just eat the beans. And if you do them on the first, you know what I mean? You know, you just it is what it is. Yeah. But again, shopmyoliveleaf.com. Okay. Shopmyoliveleaf.com. And again, like you said, we'll post the link in the description. Perfect. We got to have you back here because I do want you commenting a lot on what's going on culturally within our community, whether it's pop, whether it's urban. I definitely want to have your wife here to talk about meditation and just the inner self and things like that. I appreciate you just stopping by and always just filling us full of just inspiration and just guidance, and along with some amazing products and being passionate about your products, shipping on time, next day. And you said if they order before 2:00. Yep. If you order before 2 p.m. Eastern time, our goal is to ship same day. Ships. Now that don't mean you're gonna receive it. We ain't saying same day delivery. Don't get it confused. Especially if you're in California right. or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Do you ship overseas? We do. We offer international shipping all over the world. Absolutely. Wow. Yep. That's a big boy shit. We have clients that, matter of fact, right before I came here, I shipped to Dubai. Oh, wow. Yeah, we've got some clients there, and we're also going to be reaching out via email to some, because we want to establish a distributor program because we ship so much product overseas. It just makes sense to have distributors in these countries so that they can even get product to their clients that much quicker. Wow. You know, because I don't want them to have to wait 7 to 10 days. They can get the product in a couple days if we, set up those distributorships in those countries. Okay, so that's what we're working on. Well, thank you. It's always an honor, and we're definitely going to have you back here. Thank you so much, Tasha. And thank you to the winos as well. Yes, of course. Thank you. And we out. We done. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Thank you. I only need one, man. That's it. Maybe two. Look, no, I'll buy the other one. Listen. Yeah, it's all good.